One of the trademarks of an expert is the sensation or feeling of having more time to make a decision, while compared to a beginner. Their brain's capacity to sort through, identify, connect, and understand inputs affects their perception of the passing of time. Let's take a football midfielder as an example. A good midfielder is able to keep track in the back of his mind where every other player is on the pitch. The better this awareness of his surroundings is, the more time he feels he has to make the decision of who he's going to pass the ball to. This is largely a skill that's developed by the unconscious mind. If you were attempting to fill the shoes of such a player, you would find it almost impossible to make a coherent decision of who to pass the ball to. And this would happen because you would have to analyze everything with your conscious mind. There would be almost no intuition behind it. You need to stop, look around at every single player, try to figure out where they're going, and all the while having at least one defender coming to take the ball from you. Then you need to decide who is the best player to pass the ball to. It would just feel like you didn't have enough time to make the correct decision. The expert, however, processed all of these things unconsciously at a rate that you couldn't fathom. He felt that he had plenty of time to choose the correct play because he did it almost out of instinct. Time passed slower for him than it did for you. Not literally, but it would certainly feel like it. Intuition develops out of thousands and thousands of repetitions. What starts out as something you understand nothing about, eventually, through enough exposure, becomes something you understand deeply and have developed a certain instinct towards. Through thousands of repetitions of a certain task, your brain develops more efficient ways to perform it. This all happens in the background of our consciousness, meaning we don't actually see it happen or feel it happen. One day it seems that whatever you used to struggle with is now just second nature. This is why an expert of any field has developed a strong intuition for it. And this is also why we inherently trust someone that's been doing something for a long time. We all know that with enough exposure, learning is inevitable. Obviously, some people learn faster than others and are more talented in certain aspects, but with enough repetition, anyone will improve. This remains one of the great mysteries of the human mind. We can't really pinpoint what makes some people extremely good at some things while extremely bad at others. And so in the end, each of us has to figure out what they are meant to do, in a sense. It's the thing that feels like play to you, but like work to others. Something that you could keep doing for countless hours and would never get bored of. You don't need to motivate yourself to do it, you just want to do it. Just like the midfielder feels like he is immersed in the game of football, so you must find the thing that provokes that same feeling in you. Games and sports are really interesting to me because they are one of the most obvious scenarios to see instinct and intuition come at play. The reactions that they have developed over the course of a life, practicing their sport, is what will make them better or worse than the other competitors. At the point that we are seeing them, it's a full takeover of instinct and intuition. Some decisions are simply better left for the unconscious mind to untangle, and in actively trying to solve them, we may end up with a worse result. By not trusting your intuition and instincts, we sometimes end up with poorer choices. This is really evident in a game I love, chess, where sometimes, if you are pressed for time and try to overthink a move by trying to see several moves in the future, you end up making it worse, as opposed to going with your initial gut reaction for the move. If this seems like something that's hard to believe, just consider the state that most of us spend our entire lives seeking and trying to reproduce, where time passes without us realizing and with very little thought or conscience of ourselves. Flow has been studied extensively, and it's quite obvious now that it is the desired state for anyone that's trying to produce their best work. When we can achieve this flow state, we produce better work in less time. We are more efficient. In other words, one of the most unconscious states that we can experience is the very thing that leads to our best outputs. We tend to revolt against this idea because, after all, we are the animal that climbed to the top of the food chain using reasoning. Our ability to communicate, learn and share ideas is the thing that got us to go from the middle of the food chain to the very top of it. And now we are just supposed to say that our best asset at making decisions is our intuition or our instinct. That would make us no better than all the other animals. The truth is that we often don't know the full extent of what we think we actually know. We can't accurately predict the future in almost anything. We are constantly making plans, thinking that our career or our relationships will have to obey certain rules, and if we play by them, then everything should work out well. But how often do the things we believe will happen actually happen? And more importantly, how often do things we think will never happen actually happen? Life is unpredictable. Even with all of our rules, thinking and planning, we can't really know what is going on. And that's scary. We are meant and designed to be afraid of the unknown. So we make up these stories and we justify them with principles, laws, guidelines, and whatever else we can find to try and feel a little bit less scared. If we begin to value our intuition a bit more, maybe we will find that it leads us down paths that we would never have taken. And halfway through those paths, we might actually find that we enjoy them and we are happy and excited to wake up in the morning. You don't know what you don't know, but in a certain sense, you do. It's just not a part of you that you can explain or comprehend, but that you simply have to trust.